What are you gaining from acting like you don't need anything? Hello, assalamu alaikum. It's your girl Yerrrrrrrrrr, aka Big Buddy Naughty, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hey girl, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you are a returning subscriber, your dedication is unmatched. So for today's video, this was actually inspired by something that I put on Instagram. By the way, if you do not follow me on Instagram, you should. But I was telling my Instagram followers a part of my routine for the days where I can just feel the sadness is coming, that I'm just about to have a bad day. Like, you know, when you just know that it's on the way. But I have days where I do not have time for that. I have work that needs to be done. So I'm very proactive in keeping my mood up and shifting my focus and things like that. So part of that routine for the days when I'm just not in the mood is I write in my dua journal. And a few people replied and were like, oh my god, what's a dua journal? Show us your dua journal, tell us about it. So for today's video, that's what we're going to do. So for the first half of this video, I'm just gonna chit chat a little bit. I'm just gonna tell you guys my reasoning behind having a dua journal or just journaling at all. For the second half of this video, I'm inviting you all to do a prompt with me. I'm gonna put a timestamp so you can know exactly when that starts. So maybe you don't want to hear me talk, you just want to hop over to the prompt. But that's just something that I want to do with you guys. And this is also a prompt that I have never done before. I've been thinking about it and I've verbalized it, but I've never actually written it down. So that should be no longer than 5, maybe 7 or 8 minutes. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. But for the first half of this video, how I got into dua journaling in the first place. So to give you guys some background, some context, I grew up with my grandma. Me and my grandma, you know, all my family lived in one house. So I grew up with my grandmother, and my grandmother is a teacher, but she's also a writer. So she just writes everything down. So no matter what it is, if it's dates, if it's phone numbers, it's whatever, she's gonna write it somewhere. She has books and books filled with things that she's written down, with little notes. Anytime my grandmother gives you a gift, she's going to have some type of note attached. Sometimes I still have books that she gifted me as a child where she would write Bismillah, she would write her name, she would write the date, and she'd write you a little note. So she's always done that. So naturally, growing up with her, I took on to that. But at some point in my life, I don't know if it was as a teenager, as an adult, I got away from that. And that very much so caused a detachment in a lot of things. And I do definitely think that it affected my memory, because from writing things down, or from having a grandmother that always wrote things down, it was always so easy for me to remember things. Once I wrote it down, I could remember it. Like I could write down a phone number one time and then I could remember it. But I was reminded of that when I saw a tweet by Erykah Badu a minute ago. If I can find the tweet on my phone, I'll put it right here. But she says in the tweet that spelling is a spell. And I think she says, write it down and watch it get real. And in that moment, like as soon as I read it, I was like, damn, that's so true for me, because when I write things down, they become so real for me. Even to the point where it's something as small as my to-do list. I could have it in my phone, but I could easily click out of it and I could easily never look at it again. I have so many to-do lists in my notes that I never looked at again, because out of sight, out of mind. But when I have this physical piece of paper where something is written down in ink, it's gonna be on my mind. I'm gonna be looking at it. I'm going to be paying attention to it. To the point where I'll be out and I'm like, okay, I need to look at this piece of paper. I need to look at this to-do list. So for me personally, I'm like, yes, writing things down makes things so real for me. And along with that, I'm a person of prayer. I'm a person of supplication. I try to always and constantly be making dua to Allah for something. I need a lot. I want a lot. So I'm always praying. But with that, I feel like I forget. So it's like when I'm in the moment, when I'm praying, whether it be after salat, whether it be tahajjud, whether it be just when I'm in the car, or when I'm doing whatever and I need to pray, there are things that I need to pray for. There are things that I need to say that I'd be forgetting about. So for that reason, I keep a dua journal. So as soon as I decide that I want something, as soon as I decide that I need something, I write it down in my journal to remember to pray for it. And when I'm going to pray, as long as I have it with me, I pull out my journal and I could be very specific in my prayer. I could remember every single thing, and it just helps me keep up. So the first part is writing things down sticks with me and makes it real. The second part is that to make sure I don't forget and to make sure I'm being very specific. But the third part of that is to keep me reminded of what I'm working towards, to keep me reminded, to keep me grounded in what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to establish, and to remind me to actually work for the things that I want and to actually seek out the things that I want. Because I'm noticing now that, and I feel like this happens with a lot of us, we'll be very specific in prayer. Like we'll be like, Allah, I want this, I want that, I want it like this, I want it like that. But then the very first thing that comes to us, mind you, this thing does not meet any of our specifications, but because we're so worried that we're not going to get anything, or we're so worried that we're not going to get what we want, we'll just grab at it. We'll just take it. And then when you take that first thing, it ends up interrupting you or distracting you from watching out for the thing that you specifically said that you wanted. So it reminds me, I was specific in my dua, so I'm going to be specific in my search. I'm not going to settle. I'm not going to just grab at the first opportunity. I'm not going to be thirsty. I figured out that I wanted it. I let Allah know that I wanted it. I did my best to put myself in the position and put myself in the places to receive that thing. Now I'm just going to wait for it. Or I'm going to take the necessary steps in creating it. So yes, those are the reasons that I started dua journaling, and I've been doing it probably since like 2018, 2019, I think. But let me just read y'all the filth real quick, because this is something that's been sitting on my heart and I feel like I need to say this. I don't know who needs to hear this. Actually, I do. It's you, whoever it is that's watching this, you need to hear this. You are being extremely too modest in your duas. You are being too modest in your prayers, and you have no idea how this is severely affecting your life and how this is hindering you. For whatever reason, we feel like we need to have a respectful level of request. We're trying to be this fake pious person.
Oh, well, you know, if you could just give me this, if you could just give me that.
We are only asking and we are settling for droplets when we know for a fact we need rivers, we need lakes, we need oceans. Okay, and Allah knows you need it, and you know you need it. And the only thing that Allah requests in bridging the gap between what you want, what you need, and you is the very thing that you refuse to do, and that's ask. So please put the fake piety act away and ask. You have an opportunity every day to speak to the only one that can give you every single thing that you want and every single thing that you need, and you are not doing all you can to take advantage of that opportunity. For what reason? What are you gaining from acting like you don't need anything? Now I get it, you don't want to seem ungrateful. If that's the case, express gratitude. Have moments where you are supplicating simply for the sake of thanking Allah. Have moments where you're saying shukrillah. Have moments where you're calling Allah by his name, because he is the most generous. He is the most kind. He is the most loving. He is the most giving. Everything belongs to him. He is the maintainer, the sustainer. He is the opener of opportunities. He is the giver of all givers. But you want to sit here and act like, oh no, I'm good. I don't need anything. I'm good with this. Don't get me wrong. Show gratitude. Show gratitude often. Allah says, if you are grateful, I will give you more. So definitely show gratitude. But don't forget to go after what you need. Don't forget to go after what you want. Don't forget to ask and ask and ask and ask. No matter how many times you feel like you need to ask. But don't ask from a place of insecurity. Because I truly believe that when you make a dua, when you ask for something, when you express a need or a want or a desire for something, a part of trusting Allah is when you ask, let it go. But when you asking multiple times, plead, beg. This is God we're talking about. You're not asking somebody whose resources are limited. You're asking somebody that is the ruler of everything, that can give you any single thing that you want, any single thing that you desire. He can make it happen for you. Ask. Make sure you get yours. And one thing that really made me realize the true shame, I would call it, that we feel in asking Allah for more and requesting things from Allah. Is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, even though I'm pretty sure I'm right, hadith where the Prophet ﷺ says, and I'm slightly paraphrasing here, when you ask something of Allah, He is shy to not give it to you. And the weight in that statement of the Lord of everything, the controller of everything, the beginning with no end, the deity that is bigger than anything and everything in this entire life, in this entire world, this entire universe, in front of little old you, in front of little old us, is shy to not give us something when we request it. When you look at the world and you look at life, the things that we're asking for are very minuscule. A boo, a relationship, kids, a job, an opportunity, a car, a house, money, wealth, status, relationship with family, whatever it is extremely minuscule. And why you are ashamed to ask, or why you feel like Allah cannot give it to you, I do not understand. But it is imperative that we get out of this mindset. The way I see it, all of us commit sins every day. So if you are not shy to commit those sins in front of Allah, if your shyness did not keep you from committing that sin and getting whatever you got or doing whatever you did, that shyness should not keep you from asking for forgiveness and from asking what you want. And also understand, you would not have even been able to conjure up the idea, to conjure up the desire to have something if Allah did not intend to give it to you. The only step that you need to take is to ask. Now, naturally so, the way life works, you're not going to get every single thing you ask for. Because in trusting that Allah can give me everything, I trust that Allah knows what's best for me. And it may be that you love a thing that is not good for you. So I'm not saying put your bottom dollar on every single thing, because at the end of the day, Allah is blessing me, but Allah is also protecting me. So it may be that I love a thing that is not good for me, so I trust that Allah is going to give me what's good for me, but He's also going to protect me from what's bad for me. So there are some things that we may beg and plead, and we may say, oh Allah, please give it to me, please give it to me, please, 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 and Allah is just not going to give it to you. I talked about this the other day too. I'm so thankful for everything that Allah gave me, but I'm also so thankful for all the times that Allah told me no. Because looking back on it now, I was begging and pleading for things that if I would have got, would have changed the entire trajectory of my life. And I'm thankful for that. But girl, you gotta ask. You gotta ask. And when you ask, because Allah says, I am as my servant expects of me, you cannot ask from a place of like, oh, He not gonna give it to me, but I'm gonna still ask. Because a lot of us will ask, but we pump faking. You're asking with the energy of like, yeah, Allah, you know, I want this, da da da, but you're not really, and your heart of hearts, you know, you're not expecting Him to really give it to you. And if you're really not expecting it, it's really not about to come, because you're not expecting it. You don't really believe it, so you have to trust that it's coming. And then a part of trusting that it's coming, you also have to trust that it may not come when you want it, but it's gonna come. That exact thing may not come, but something better will come. Or if it doesn't come, trust that it wasn't good for you. And Allah knows best. But I could already see that this video was getting long because I went on a whole tangent, but y'all needed to hear that. So I'm going to actually show you guys my dua journal, and then we're going to do the prompt. So let's get into that. Okay, so I hope that this is a good angle, you guys can see everything. I'm going to show you guys the list from, this is from 2020, because 2021 is kind of private, and I don't think I have anything incriminating in here, but I would honestly be surprised if y'all could even read my handwriting. So prior to making kind of a broad list of duas, I like to specify and I like to have everything in categories. So as of right now, I use 8 categories of writing down what it is that I want. So you have spiritual, You have character / mental / emotional development. I have career. I have finance, car and transportation, home and living arrangements, travel, and another one that I added this year is physical health and body goals. So in the moment when I'm thinking about spiritual, I write down everything that I can think of in this very moment that I want. I get as specific as possible. So I have memorized Quran, but I think I wrote somewhere I wanted to memorize 3 surahs. I wanted to memorize 5 new dua, learn about the lives of the Prophet, show gratitude, increase in azkar and astaghfar. For character / mental / emotional development, I have be kinder, be wiser, trusting my intuition, renewing my intentions, being more patient. For career, I have things like interacting with fans more, more paid opportunities, working with brands I love and that pay well. For finances, I wanted to pay off my debt. I wanted to increase my credit score. I wanted to save $10,000, have extra money. For car, I had certain things that had to do with my license. For travel, I wrote down all the places that I wanted to travel. For home, this is when I was brainstorming places that I wanted to live. So I have DC, Maryland, Georgia, PA. I wrote down the type of apartment that I want, where I want it to be at, what I want to be around it, and all of these things. Oh, and this was from last year, I have to remember, so I don't have a physical health and body goals. But for this year, I have primarily plant-based. I want to get up to 210 pounds. I want to be flexible, taking vitamins, things like that. So yeah, this is very straightforward. There's no magic trick or anything involved, but I'm just sure to be very specific. Now, when it comes to starting off my dua, this is from this year. So everything has a title and everything has a date. So I just did this on the 18th. But for how I make dua, there are 3 steps that I take specifically when it comes to making my duas. And of course, this is granted that I have a lot of time. This is granted that I'm sitting, that I'm really, in the mode. When there are more quicker duas, of course, I'm just, oh Allah, blah, 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 Ameen, and then I go. But when I have time, when I'm dedicating time, I take 3 steps. So step 1, I seek forgiveness. Step 2, I show gratitude. And step 3, I ask and I make request. So this is very helpful for me because, again, it allows me to remember, it allows me to be specific and everything like that. So let's go through it. So number 1, I learned that in making dua, Allah likes for you to call on him, or you should call on him by his various names. You know that he has 99 names. So when I have seek forgiveness, I have all of his names that I identified were relating to forgiveness. So Al-Ghafar, the all and oft forgiving, At-Tawwab, the acceptor of repentance, and I have a few other names here. But when it comes to seeking forgiveness, I have it listed here, everything that I'm seeking forgiveness for. And of course, in the moment, you might think of other things, but this is everything that I'm seeking forgiveness for. So for my major and minor sins, for my known and unknown, for my exposed and my secret, for my past, present, and future. Then once you move on to showing gratitude, I have all of the names that are listed in mainly everything that I'm grateful for when it comes to Allah and his various attributes. So the fact that he's the creator, the supreme bestower, the total provider, the opener, the most subtle, the most loving, things like that. And I write here things that I'm grateful for. And again, I do this in the spur of the moment because I don't want to overthink it. So I'm grateful for my breath, my body, and my health. I'm grateful for his love and his kindness. I'm grateful for my ideas. I'm grateful for my blackness. I have written here, because baby, we real black. We super black around here. And then for the last step, I ask and I make request. So I'm calling on names such as Al-Wahhab, which is the supreme bestower. I'm calling on names such as Al-Karim, the bountiful one. I'm calling on names of Al-Basit, the extender. But when I ask and I make requests, I like to start off with asking on behalf of my loved ones. So I have here my family members' names, my grandparents, my parents, and then I have my friends. And when you see the plus signs, that's because I'm making dua for them, but I'm also making dua for their loved ones. So I'm making dua for Jannah, but I'm also making dua for her and her family and her loved ones. And then I have here very broad request. So ease in my affairs, good health and happiness, safety and sustenance. I'm asking a lot to make me a better friend, a better community member. I'm asking a lot to help me in killing my ego and better managing my stress and anxiety, and, you know, making my business better and more bountiful. But also, as a part of this, when I'm asking and I'm making requests, I'll do these very broad requests, but I will flip back over to my more specific requests and I will list these by name. So let's say right here in my career, it says punctual content and performances. So I say, oh Allah, please make me more punctual in my content and in my performances. If I'm working on a specific project, I'll list that by name. And this has helped me so much in making my dua and being more sincere and allowing me to be focused. But also with having so many requests and wanting so many things, it has also improved and allowed me to be able to carve out that time that means so much to me now, where it is just me and Allah. We're talking, we're conversing, I'm speaking to him, I'm being sincere, and I truly feel heard. And of course he's not talking back to me, but I will usually get my answer within a few days, I've had du'as where I've said Ameen and Allah has sent me an answer or has sent me what it is that I needed. But yes, this has been great. Now, I'm not saying that writing this down is a magic trick. I'm not one of those type of people that are telling you to journal and then it's just gonna come true. But this is how I organize my thoughts, I organize my du'as, and it has definitely improved my life, and it's definitely improved my du'as. So I would highly encourage this to anyone who is forgetful, to people that want to be specific, that people that want to be more intentional. So we have finally reached the journaling portion of this video. Again, if you were not interested, if you got your journaling down pat, bye, feel free to click off. But for our journaling portion, I just have 7 questions. Feel free to pause, fast forward, go to the next question, but let's go. And these questions are simply to get you to think differently. If you have reached this point in this video, I hope that you have removed this shame and this fake modesty and piety, that you are doing away with that, because you deserve amazing things, and I want you to ask for amazing things so you can get amazing things. But without further ado, let's begin. I'm going to be journaling with you guys, and again, I'm the type of person, I'm spur of the moment. I like to write it down while I'm brainstorming, while it's hot in my mind. But if you just want to listen and you want to think about it, come back to it later, whatever, that's fine. I'm going to put the questions on the screen because I don't want you guys to just be looking at me. I want you to have the questions. Feel free to screenshot, look at it later, whatever the case may be, but let's go. Question number 1. If you woke up tomorrow to find that Allah had made every single one of your dreams come true, who would you be? And I don't mean work. I'm not referring to any type of labor. I'm not referring to any type of status within relationships. I'm referring to as a person. Who would you be? If you woke up tomorrow to find Allah had made every single one of your dreams come true, where would you be? If you woke up tomorrow to find that Allah had made every single one of your dreams come true, what would you have? And with that question, please be as specific as you can and include everything. I'm talking material things, I'm talking character development, I'm talking body, I'm talking family, I'm talking wealth, I'm talking home, I'm talking cars, I'm talking goals and ambitions. I'm talking every single thing that you want. Write it down. If you woke up tomorrow to find that Allah had made every single one of your dreams come true, what would you be doing with your time? If you woke up tomorrow to find that Allah had made every single one of your dreams come true, what would no longer be an obstacle, an issue, a challenge, a problem for you? If you woke up tomorrow to find that Allah had made every single one of your dreams come true, who would be a part of your community and who would no longer be a part of your community? And when I say community, I'm referring to every type of relationship you can imagine. So I'm referring to family, I'm referring to friends, I'm referring to romantic relationships, I'm referring to business, I'm referring to associates. All of that encapsulates what it means when I say community. If you woke up tomorrow to find that Allah had made every single one of your dreams come true, what would your community feel like? If you woke up tomorrow to find that Allah had made every single one of your dreams come true, what role would you play in your community? Well, that is all that I have for you today. I hope this video has helped you. I hope this video has inspired you. I said it this whole video, I would say it again. As soon as you establish in your mind and your heart, as soon as you have the need or the desire for something, as soon as you know, let Allah know, and inshallah, by the grace and mercy of Allah, you will receive it. Dream big. Ask big, request big, think big, and you're gonna get it. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye. Assalamu alaikum.